If you're going to stay fit after age 60, you are going to run into setbacks. We all do. But those setbacks don't have to stop you completely. And today I want to share with you 3 setbacks that I've had recently that have been a pain in the butt for me. But I want to share with you how I've dealt with them and hopefully give you some inspiration and some ideas about how you can deal with injuries and setbacks that you've experienced in your own fitness journey after 60. And if you're new to the channel, I just want to give you a brief introduction. My name is Joe Berjowski. And for most of my life, I was completely out of shape. I didn't exercise, I didn't play any sports, I had a very sedentary job. So right up until my mid-40s, I was overweight and low energy and very flabby and weak. And it wasn't until my mid-40s that I decided to take my fitness seriously. And I've managed to maintain a pretty exceptional level of fitness right up to now, which is for me age 64. But that wasn't a straight line from out of shape to in shape. There's a bunch of setbacks on the way. And a big one I had that started 2.5 years ago was shoulder pain. I started noticing when I was lifting weights like this, I would get a little shot of pain in my shoulder. And I hadn't really injured it or done anything particular. It's just slowly started getting more and more painful. And I got to the point where I couldn't do anything. When I was shooting some of the early footage for RIP Seniors, I would do a set of monkey bars and jump off and grab my shoulder because it was hurting so badly. So I went to my physical therapist who did an assessment and recommended that I, back off on the weights, gave me a set of stretching and strengthening exercises to do each day, which I did. And those stretching and strengthening exercises helped. And I did them for probably 6 to 8 months. And with a little bit of progress, but each time I pushed the weight again, the pain would flare back up. So in step 2, I went to see my doctor and he ordered a shoulder ultrasound. And the ultrasound revealed that I had rotator cuff calcific tendonitis, which means I had a calcium deposit right in one of the rotator cuff tendons. And when it happens, it causes inflammation and pain and restricts the movement in the tendon, and that's what was causing the pain. So with that information, I went back to the physical therapist and I underwent 5 sessions of shockwave therapy, which is a therapy where they use a sound wave gun to shoot the tendon with high intensity sound waves to break up the calcium and to promote healing in the area. Now that was uncomfortable. It's pretty, because they want you to take it as high intensity as you can up to your pain threshold, which I did. I did notice that after about 2 months after the shockwave therapy, I started noticing the pain was diminishing. And I kept rigorously doing my stretching and strengthening exercises every morning. And slowly but surely, I was able to finally gotten back to being able to lift and to move this shoulder completely pain-free. So I think the takeaway from that is if you are suffering from a chronic pain problem or an injury, don't give up. I thought I was going to have this forever. But the body has an amazing ability to heal. If you get diagnostic imaging and follow your physical therapy and be persistent with it, you can recover from really significant injuries. The second problem was back pain. Now, because of my sedentary job, I slouched in a chair for 8 hours a day. I had a lot of back pain for years and years, all through my 20s and 30s and into my 40s. I had low back pain, stiffness, soreness, and I decided to fix it with a 3-pronged approach. Number 1, I did morning stretching of my back. I did weekly core strengthening exercises, and then I made sure that I got out for a 30-minute brisk walk every morning. And that drastically improved it. In fact, for a long time, it fixed it. But just as my shoulder was getting better, I started getting these back spasms in my lower back. And they happened if I picked up a heavy weight and I'd get a shot of pain in my lower back. All my muscles in my back would lock up, and I'd have to put down the weight gently and then relax, and then slowly over a couple of minutes, it would let go. And whenever I lifted heavy or twisted quickly, I'd get these back spasms. And it felt different than the previous problem, which was more general achiness and soreness. So I happened to be chit-chatting with my physical therapist about this, and they suggested that maybe what I was experiencing was spinal compression, which is common with aging. And spinal compression can cause a pinching of the nerve. And the therapist suggested that I do some spinal decompression. So I looked up how to do that, and I went out to Amazon and I bought a set of those inversion boots, the ones that strap onto your ankles and then allow you to hang upside down from a chin-up bar. And I started doing that initially just for 1 minute a day, and slowly built myself up to doing it for 4 minutes per day. And I would say within a week, I started noticing that these back spasms had diminished. And within a month, they were completely gone. It was like a miracle cure. And I do this every day now for 5 minutes of hanging upside down. I've gotten used to hanging upside down and the blood rushing to my head. It actually feels really relaxing. And I'm back now where I can jump, I can twist, I can lift heavy, and those back spasms aren't gone. So the takeaway from that issue is, if you are experiencing a problem, be open to innovative solutions. I would have never thought the problem was spinal compression. And when that suggestion came and I tried the inversion boots, it happened to be the thing that worked for me. So sometimes you have to be experimental with a number of different treatments. Eventually, you'll hit on the thing that's going to work for you. And the third and final thing is kind of funny. And this just happened to me 4 weeks ago. I went out for my first run of the season, and literally I took my first step. And when I planted my foot on the ground, a shock of pain went through my foot. And I thought, oh, it's just a spasm because I haven't run. And I tried to, shake it off, wiggle it, keep running. But no, my foot was in agony. And it turns out just from taking a step, I sprained my foot. And, it was swollen and tender, and I couldn't bend my toes. And it meant that I couldn't go brisk walking. I was limping around. And this was a problem because I'm planning to, in less than 3 months, run Tough Mudder, which is a 10-mile race, and I need to build up my stamina to be able to run that with my son-in-law. And this, of course, has set me back. So what I've done in the interim is I have been training just using my bicycle. I get on the bike, ride around, get my heartbeat going. Because my foot is flat while I'm riding, it doesn't hurt. And fortunately, something like a sprain, it doesn't require really physical therapy, it just requires that, I don't stress it. And it has been getting better now. At this point now, it's been 4 weeks. I can brisk walk again. And I think within a week or two, I'll be able to run again and get back on track for my training for Tough Mudder. So the takeaway from that one is, at this age, little stuff happens like that. Tweaks, strains, sprains, they're going to come. Your body can heal. It takes longer, yes, at this age, but they will eventually heal. And, you can compensate. So that's the way it is at this age. The benefits of staying fit, longer life, healthier life, more energy, better sleep, sharper mind, it's all worth it. But you will have these setbacks, they will come. But I really want to encourage you to persevere and to do your physical therapy, and eventually you will recover and get back on track. And if you've had a setback, an injury that you've been dealing with or have recovered from, please share it in the comments below, because I know that this community would love to learn from you. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to hear more from RIP Seniors, please give it a like and subscribe. And remember, when you stay fit, you stay young.